Have you ever noticed how the moment you start chasing something, it seems to run further away? The same truth applies to desire. Most men never learn this, and it costs them deeply. So, listen closely, because what I'm about to share may change the way you understand attraction, confidence, and what it truly means to lead as a man. Let me tell you something few men have the courage to admit. The instant you have to ask a woman for intimacy, you've already lost the spark. Not because there's anything wrong with sex, not because she isn't drawn to you, but because the act of asking changes the entire energy of the moment. You stop being grounded in your masculine presence and slip into a place of seeking approval. You move from leading to pleading, and whether she says it or not, she feels that shift instantly. She's not rejecting the idea of being close. She's rejecting the uncertainty in a man who doesn't know how to create the kind of space where attraction unfolds on its own. She wants to feel safe surrendering to a steady presence, not a man asking for permission to lead. And let's be clear, this isn't a video about tricks, lines, or manipulation. What we're talking about here is psychological truth. This is about polarity, that subtle dance of masculine and feminine energy that creates genuine desire. Many men unintentionally kill that spark by being overly polite, overly cautious, or too afraid to express calm, grounded intent. Because here's the truth. Women don't daydream about being asked for intimacy. They're moved by a man whose presence makes it feel natural, inevitable, as though the connection simply happens without words. The kind of man who doesn't push but pulls, who doesn't convince but provokes, who doesn't chase validation but leads through energy, timing, and quiet confidence. By the time we're done here, you'll understand why asking never works, and more importantly, how to become the kind of man who doesn't need to ask. Stay until the end, because what you'll hear isn't about performance, it's about transformation. And if you're ready to reclaim your power, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Remember the mantra, I don't beg, I attract. Now, let's talk about the uncomfortable truth most men ignore. She doesn't reject sex, she rejects weakness. Let's be brutally honest. Most of the time, a woman isn't turning down intimacy itself. She's turning down the energy that comes with it. When a man brings hesitation, neediness, or self-doubt into the moment, she shuts down, not because she isn't interested, but because she can't feel safe yielding to a man who hasn't yet claimed himself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's the strength she craves, not in your muscles, not in your charm, but in your frame of mind. Too many men today confuse being nice with being desirable. They think that if they're polite, emotionally available, and never make a bold move, she'll eventually melt for them. But attraction doesn't work like that. Politeness earns comfort. It doesn't awaken desire. Desire feeds on contrast, on emotional polarity. She doesn't dream of the man nervously asking, "Is it okay if I kiss you now?" She's drawn to the one who steps closer with calm certainty, who doesn't need to ask because his energy already says everything. Weak men seek permission. Strong men bring clarity, and that clarity allows her to feel safe letting go of control. That's where your work begins, not with her, but with yourself. If your thoughts are clouded with insecurity, if your focus is on whether she approves, your body will betray it. You could say every right thing, and she'd still feel something missing. That's why the nice guy gets ghosted, while the man with quiet self-assurance lingers in her thoughts long after the night ends. So ask yourself honestly, do you show up with energy that invites her to open up? Or are you silently asking her to carry the weight of your uncertainty? Because she's not rejecting the idea of connection. She's rejecting a man who hasn't claimed his own center. Before you can master her body, you must master your presence. Stop asking permission. Let her feel safe in your direction. Here's a truth that stings. Every time you ask for permission, you give away your power. And when you lose that power, attraction fades. I'm not talking about being forceful or crossing boundaries. I'm talking about the psychological difference between leading with confidence and seeking validation. When you say things like, "Can I kiss you?" or "Do you want me to stay?" you think you're being respectful. But what she actually hears is, "I'm not sure I'm enough. Please approve of me." Marcus Aurelius reminded us that pain doesn't come from events but from our perception of them. When you look to her for a green light before acting, you hand her emotional control, and ironically, that's the one thing she doesn't truly want. She doesn't want to control the energy. She wants to feel it. Imagine this: you're sitting close, the room is quiet, your conversation soft. The tension builds naturally. She breathes slower, leans slightly in. You feel it. But instead of letting the energy unfold, you break it with, "Can I kiss you?" In that moment, the magic dies, not because she didn't want it, but because you didn't know how to lead without words. Manhood isn't about aggression, it's about direction. A stoic man doesn't blurt out his desires or beg for them to be fulfilled. He moves with calm certainty. If she resists, he respects it fully, but he never hesitates out of fear. Leadership in intimacy isn't about pressure, it's about presence. It's about reading her energy, sensing the rhythm of the moment, and moving with intent. So from now on, stop asking. Start leading. Because when you don't just lose the moment, you lose her respect. Female desire is silent, not logical. Men love logic. We plan, calculate, and reason. But desire doesn't play by logic's rules. It moves through energy, through feeling, through instinct. You can be the kindest, most patient man alive. You can say everything she wants to hear, but if she can't feel you, she won't want you. Desire isn't a checklist. It's a current, an invisible pull that bypasses her rational mind. She might say she wants a kind, stable, emotionally open man, and she does, but when she meets a man with quiet mystery, stillness, and unapologetic masculine intent, her body reacts before her mind can explain it. Epictetus said, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." Most men live in those imagined anxieties. They overthink her reactions. She said she wasn't ready, but she slept with someone else later. I did everything right. Why didn't she choose me? Because you were playing chess. She was feeling music. She isn't evaluating your logic. She's feeling your energy, your presence, your ability to move her without words. You can't convince a woman into desire. You have to embody the kind of energy that naturally invites it. So stop performing and start being. Because the moment you drop your scripts and show up as a man who's fully grounded, she'll feel it. Desire doesn't grow from logic, it blooms from energy. Don't ask, "What does she want?" Ask, "What is she feeling when she's near me?" Because you can't talk your way into her heart. You can only resonate your way in. Your sexual energy speaks louder than words. Most men think attraction is about what they say, but women don't fall for words, they fall for what's behind them. You can tell her you're confident. You can tell her you're calm and grounded. But if your body is tense, if your eyes dart away, if your presence collapses in front of her beauty, she'll feel the truth before you ever finish your sentence. Women can sense energy like heat from a fire. They know if your flame is strong or if it's flickering from insecurity. And most men hide that flame, afraid of being too much, of making her uncomfortable, of being rejected. So they bury their desire under politeness, play it safe, and wonder why they end up in the sweet but not sexy category. That spark she's looking for doesn't come from compliments. It comes from containment, from owning your desire without apology. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You don't have to announce your energy, you have to embody it. When a man can contain his desire, not suppress it, not force it, but hold it with calm power, a woman feels something deeper than safety. She feels awakening. She becomes curious, drawn in. Your energy either leaks from neediness or radiates from self-possession. If it leaks, she retreats. If it radiates, she steps closer. So next time you're around her, don't try to prove anything. Let her feel what you've already mastered. The man who doesn't react commands respect. Most men today are tossed around by every look, text, or silence from a woman. One moment she's warm, the next she's distant, and he spirals, overanalyzing, clinging, retreating. That's emotional reactivity, and to her, it smells like weakness. A stoic man lives by this. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. He doesn't chase validation. He doesn't panic when things go quiet. He remains centered, and that centeredness is magnetic. When a woman meets a man who doesn't flinch under pressure, who doesn't crumble at a test, she feels something primal: mystery, respect, desire, because she can't control him, and that's what pulls her in. The paradox is simple. The man who doesn't need attention gets it. The man who stays calm when ignored becomes unforgettable. You don't need to become colder. You need to become calmer. In a world full of men who panic, calmness is power. So the next time she tests you, consciously or not, don't react. Don't chase. Don't explain. Stay grounded. Stay focused. Because the man who doesn't react becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. Now, for the secret few men ever master. When she believes she made the first move, her desire triples. This isn't manipulation. It's leadership at the emotional level. True attraction happens when she feels like it was her decision all along. Most men ruin this with words like, "When will we take this further?" Or, "Don't you want to spend the night?" They crush the mystery. But when you stay calm, when you hold the tension without needing to fill the silence, she starts to feel something powerful: curiosity. Her body says, "You're so calm. Why do you make me nervous?" That's not small talk. That's her testing the energy you've created. She's feeling the pull. If you can hold that energy, steady gaze, relaxed body, calm presence, she'll step forward. She'll reach out. She'll lean in because she wants to be the one who breaks the tension. And when she feels like she chose it, her desire becomes personal, deep, and lasting. Sex isn't asked for. It's invited through presence. Desire doesn't bloom under pressure. It blossoms under mystery. And before you go, remember this. What we've spoken about isn't just about women or attraction or relationships. It's about the deeper journey of becoming a man who commands his own energy. The kind of man who walks into any room and changes the atmosphere without saying a word. The kind of man who is at peace within himself, no matter who stays, who leaves, or who doubts him. When you learn to master that stillness, something remarkable happens. People start to feel you before they see you. Your words begin to carry more weight, not because they're louder, but because they're fewer. You stop chasing outcomes and start moving with purpose. You stop begging for connection and start becoming the connection itself. That's the essence of Stoicism: not coldness, but control. Not suppression, but self-possession. It's the art of holding your fire without letting it burn you. It's the calm that makes others lean closer, wondering what kind of power moves so quietly. And let's be honest, the world today doesn't teach men this. It teaches performance, perfection, constant validation. But strength doesn't come from proving. It comes from being. You don't have to compete with louder men. You just have to embody what they're pretending to be. So the next time you feel tempted to chase, to ask, to seek reassurance, pause, take a breath. Remember who you are. Remember what you've built inside yourself. You're not here to beg for attention. You're here to embody presence. Because the man who leads himself never needs to ask anyone to follow. Walk into every situation with the quiet confidence of someone who has already chosen himself. That's where freedom lives. That's where real attraction begins. And if these words stirred something inside you, that calm recognition that says, "Yes, this is who I was meant to be," then stay connected. Like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me what lesson hit hardest for you, or what truth you're working to master right now. We're building a movement here, not of noise, but of grounded men reclaiming their balance, their focus, their presence. Men who don't need to be loud to be powerful. Men who live by principles, not reactions. This is the Modern Stoic, a place for those who choose to rise with discipline, to speak with purpose, and to live with unwavering calm. So, as you step into your evening or your morning, wherever you are in the world, carry this with you. You don't need to be chosen. You just need to become the kind of man who chooses himself. If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. And if you ever doubt your worth, stop asking and start embodying. Because the truth is simple. You were never meant to beg for desire. You were born to ignite it. Now go live that truth, and I'll see you in the next video.